Hey guys, so welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a couple of years since I've uploaded a proper talking studio vlog video, and I decided I'm going to resurrect my channel, or at least give it a kind of a go. If you're new here, I don't really suspect on getting many new people at first, but if you've been here for a while and you're still here, thank you for staying subscribed. I know a lot of people were really disappointed when I stopped making YouTube videos. And I'm just going to do like a little trial period to see if this is something that I can sustain, just because I am very busy in my personal life and business life. But I would like to try to incorporate some videos for you guys. So I stopped making videos for a couple of reasons, but really I just didn't have the time to dedicate to my YouTube channel like I did when I had first started. When I had first started, I was living with my mom, and I had a spare bedroom. That was my studio, and I just had less responsibility than I do now. I was 24 when I started my YouTube channel. I'm going to be 32 this year. And just a lot of things changed. I moved in with my fiance. I got engaged, and we have 2 huge dogs. We have a cat. We're busy. I also work part-time as a bartender. I do that 3 times a week. Right now I'm filming this during the coronavirus season. So I haven't been working since March. I'm actually going to be going back to work in July, like mid-July to late July. And it's been a really nice break. I took time to redo my studio. I kind of just organized stuff, and I've had a lot of time to really think about just business and reflecting and where I want to go. So I'm going to take you guys along with that journey. We're going to do that traditional studio vlogs. I know a lot of you like them, where I talk about more than just jewelry. We'll talk about Etsy purchases, Rio Grande hauls, little tips along the way, just projects I'm working on. If you're someone who likes chatty kind of vlogs, you'll like these. They're long, and maybe I'll shorten them. I have no idea. We're just going to kind of roll with it. I don't want to make too many promises I can't keep. But for now, welcome back to my channel. It's been so long, and it's so good to see you guys. So we're going to start off today with a little haul, a little Etsy. What did I get on Etsy? Where's my little stuff? Hold on. Okay, so I wanted to share with you guys. I actually made a purchase on Etsy from Anchors Away Supply Co. And this is the towels that I bought. We are huge beach people. So Joe and I go to the beach almost every weekend, and we didn't know if we were going to have a beach season, obviously, this year because of the virus. And thankfully, the numbers are so down that, everything is starting to open up gradually in New York. And there is a beach season, so we've been able to go. Yeah, so people have been really minding their space and minding their distance when we go. And I normally, for beach stuff, I could buy a beach towel. I have mine from Target. Like, I think I bought it last year. My beach chair, everything is obnoxiously bright because I love bright bathing suits, bright chairs. I mean, the happiest time of my life is in the summers. That's why we actually chose to get married in the summer, which is a story for another day. And I don't know, that's why I choose bright stuff. But we wanted to try these Turkish towels, and I heard a lot about these Turkish towels from Joe. He said that they wick away like the sand basically, and you'd get dry quicker. But they're like $60 from some of these companies, and I'm not cheap, but I would say for something like this, I don't care. I don't know. Like, I don't want to spend that kind of money. This was $10 on sale. It was 50% off from the company. Normally they're around $20. They have tons of colors. They're not super bright colors, but they're nice and beachy. And the reason I bought from them, because these are handmade in Turkey. So they're all made by women, and then they're also paid a living wage, which is nice. We want that. We need more of that. They're not just made in a factory, in a sweatshop. And I think that's really important. I know I still buy fast fashion sometimes, but I always try to be conscious when I can with my spending. And I really like that each one of these tassels are actually hand knotted by one of their employed women. And I just thought that was really cool. And the woman that owns it, she is from the US. They ship from the US, but I believe she is Turkish. And I just thought that was really, really cool. So yeah, you can machine wash these, which is great. I don't know how they're going to wash and wear yet, but I chose this color. This one's Joe's color. And then I got, this one came in a different package. I don't know why. But this one is just like a red a red and a cream color because my favorite color is red. So I thought this one was kind of cool. I didn't really need to buy 3, but they were on sale and I figured, you know, it's like when you go to Target and then you walk out, you like needed 3 things, but you buy the whole store. And then I bought this one, which is also my beach towel. I mean, we could all, me and Joe can share them, but so this one's like a nice pretty red with this like teal and white color. So we did want to try these Turkish towels for the beach, but what I really needed was hand towels for my kitchen because Joe used it to clean my hand towels. So I'm like, no, they're not rags. These are just for drying dishes. So I had to go buy some new hand towels because I don't have that many anyways. And these I thought were really cute. I love the little knots. I love the ropes. It reminds me of the nautical season. So yeah, I bought these, and this I believe was 20 bucks. I forget. But like I said, they were all on sale when I bought them. I'll leave the link below if you're interested in checking out this shop. I don't know. I seem to be very happy with the purchase. I'll let you know how they wash. So I'm going to get started on my week. I have such a busy week. I have a lot of custom orders open. I have some Etsy orders open. I have some Shopify orders open. We have a new collection we're making. So this is going to be a interesting couple of weeks. I'm excited to share them with you guys. I'm excited to share just everything that's going on. And we just wrapped up the Black Lives Matter auction with Girl Gang, and I will leave their Instagram below. I'm not sure if they're going to be holding another auction, but I do know that Metalsmiths for Change, I believe, again, all the information will be below, are holding another auction in late July. I missed the cutoff for the first one, so I'm going to participate in the second one when spots open up. And I just think if you can get out there, use your voice, and you know, pay attention, learn, have an open heart, open mind, open ears. That's what we need to be doing. There is no reason in 2020 that anybody should be treated any differently than anybody else. But unfortunately, these are the truths. So I hope that you guys, if you are metalsmiths, you guys get involved, or I know everybody has different ways of supporting the Black community. Just find a way to do it. So let's get started. We are going to go right into it, and it is so good to talk to you guys once again. So in this clip, I am just soldering with hard solder a square wire that I rolled out with my Pepe Tools rolling mill, and I actually just sprayed some of the stop ox. I will link it below if you're interested. It is a little messy. I'll talk about that in another video. Okay, so I am doing this turquoise ring that's going to be a custom order, and it's not, we were going to do a saddle ring, but then she had decided on a different ring shank. So pretty much we are going to start off with this really basic shape, and then we're going to move it into more of a finished ring. I'm going to texturize the outside. Now I'm just working on the border of this turquoise ring. And what I want to do is I want to create a nice even spacing between the lines that I'm going to be putting through on the border. Now you can use a stamp to put these lines in, such as like a stamp like this. But I'm going to be using probably my saw and also my my file, or if not just the file. And I'm also using my divider so that this way I can evenly, or as even as I can, it doesn't have to be 100% perfect, but get a good read so that this way the lines are all evenly spaced. I don't want them to look haphazardly. This is an expensive custom order. You want to take your time, especially when someone's really spending the money, up the quality, you know, up the amount of time and care that you're putting into the piece. It really goes a long way. And I'd rather slow down while I work and have people have longer lead times rather than quickly going through pieces and burning myself out. I used to do that a lot years ago, and I don't know. You know, it's hard because I have to still do made to order in order for me to have sales always coming through. It's a great way to make cash while you take custom orders. Now, if you're lucky enough to always be busy with custom orders, which many jewelers are, that's great. And, you know, but I've had different points of my business and also my creativity where I just couldn't seem to muster up that drive to do constant work. So, and be creative. So it kind of always depends, but I think it's nice to be a little bit open with your jewelry and what, you know, revisiting different creative avenues in your business to make money. And what works for one person will work differently for other people. Made to order is probably, I think, one of the most secure ways you can almost do things sometimes. But because you always have a flow of customers coming in, you're always adding to your line. Whereas if custom orders, you know, you're just taking, you know, whether you're taking 6 at a time or 1 at a time, if they stop, you have no other product line to really be featuring. But you're not left with much inventory, which is really the end goal. I prefer, as of now, to do more custom stuff. It just makes me happier. And it doesn't even have to be custom in the sense of I have it, you know, doing custom work for a particular person. It's nice because I feel like I'm making pieces that would be custom for somebody, but it's just more or less through my own vision without having somebody, you know, like saying, oh, this is what I want. This is just something I'm making for my line that feels true to my my style, which I really like. If that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. But I think, like I said, everybody has to do something different with their work. What works for me will not work for you. So don't listen to everybody else. You know, you can always listen to everybody. How do you do this? How do you do that? How do you want to do it? If what you're doing isn't working, that's different. It's time to revisit something else. There's been plenty of times where I did shit that doesn't work. Trust me. I still do things sometimes that don't work. But overall, I'm pretty happy with where we go. Look at how nice and even our bezel lines are, which is really what we're going for. So I'm going to now begin to saw them out, or I don't know, file them. I'm going to do one or the other. I'll show you what it looks like when I'm all completed. All right, so for today, I'm going to be working on a couple of pieces, and I don't want to overload my workbench with too many things because I need to get some orders out. And I balance orders in a different way every week depending on what I have to make. Some projects are more time sensitive, other projects take longer, some are really quick and easy projects. It really just depends on my workload. So this is a cuff. I showed this on my Instagram. We have this really gorgeous kyanite teardrop shape, and then it has this kind of organic looking, almost like a branch that I had created from sterling, and then I have the other side, and as you can see, there's some little petals on there. All right, so I am making these little petals for my kyanite cuff that I showed before, and I'm just kind of freehand drawing them. I don't need them to be all exactly the same. Oh my god, I've yawned like 20 times today. What is this? Okay, this is about 17 gauge, the metal. So it's nice and thick. And I'm just kind of one by one sewing them. And then what I'll do is I'll go back and I will clean them up a little bit since they're not completely even. Also, I'm not using the correct blade. I think this is like a 3-0. It's a bit tough to cut with this, but I tend to use this blade with everything. I'm just not someone who does a ton of piercing work. I've done a lot more lately, but now I'm going to take my, what is this, flat nose pliers, and I'm just going to pop them in so I can brace my work. Sorry, it's a little hard because my tripod's in the way, so let me move this. Sorry, I had to move my camera because I'm not able to work at the angle I need to with the tripod being there. All right, so I'm just basically kind of fixing up some of the rugged areas very lightly, light to the touch. I just want a little more uniform petal. Although I don't mind if they're free-formed and I don't mind if they're a bit unique, I do want them to have... I want them to look finished. As you can see, we have a nice little petal. I'll show you guys what it looks like on. Okay, so this is what we have. So this side is completely done. Obviously, I need to do a few small tweaks to it, but sorry if the camera's moving. I'm holding the camera in my hand. But this whole side is done. And then I'm going to start on this side. I'm also going to do some border work as well. I think I am. Kind of just going with the flow as of right now. All right, so this is going to be the kyanite piece that has all of the little flower petals all around it. And then I'm going to have 2
14 karat gold details, and then I'll have some silver details around it just to kind of encapsulate the entire kyanite. Obviously, some of these petals aren't right where they're going to be soldered. They're just kind of like floating loosely, but I just wanted to get a overall general design. I added the little roping detail, and I think that's kind of it. I don't want anything to be any busier than what it is. I think it looks perfect as is. With a little bit of oxidizing in between here, I think this will look really, really nice. So I'll keep you guys posted.
All right, so oddly enough, when I am placing my items, by the way, this bench pin I actually got from Joe's grandfather. He loves to go antiquing. He's 82, sharp as a tack, looks fantastic. And he loves to go antiquing and go to like thrift stores. So maybe like, I don't know, maybe a summer or two ago, he had sent this to me. He like FedExed it overnight because he got so excited. He lives in Jersey. And he sent this to me with, I think, this bench pin. It was a brand new bench pin at the time. And I used it, but I like ones that I can create my own little notches on. So I finally installed this. I want to get like a GRS one, but I like the charm of this one. It really kind of goes with my bench aesthetic, which is like, I don't know, functionality. And I try not to spend too much money on tools. Like I love tools. I'm a tool junkie, but I buy tools when I really need to. I talked about this in the past that I try not to go too excessive. I try to make do with what I have around my studio as best as I can, and I slowly, gradually build on my tool collection. You know, it's been 10 years since I've done this, so, you know, over 10 years, you collect quite a bit of stuff. But when you're starting out, you can certainly do so in a really minimalist way. So when I place pieces, I tend to like to sit here because I could sit down, I can kind of take my time, just kind of enjoy it rather than standing up and hunching over my soldering station. So I individually sweat soldered. I gotta be careful I don't fling these across the room. I individually sweat soldered all these little petals. So I'm just gonna be placing them. Now, they're gonna move a lot, and I know that when I go to solder it, just simply because the flux is gonna burn off, and they're not completely flat right now because of all the flux that's on there. Now, I technically don't really have to pre-flux it. I could just pop these probably on and just fire away because there's so much. I like to put a little extra flux on the back. So this takes, obviously this is the most tedious part. The reason why I kind of do these projects over a few days sometimes is because of how tedious they are, and I just also don't have time to dedicate to just one project. I'm starting to take off more listings as I can, and especially if I can't readily make things quickly, because I really want to focus on stuff like this. I have a lot more fun. Not that I have more fun, but I just seem to, I don't know, I'm gravitating towards this at this point in my career. So, yeah, so I'll just go ahead and do the rest of this, and you guys don't have to listen to me babble, but also, another thing is I try to let the flux dry as much as I can, like air dry. So this way there's a lot less movement. Like this is way too much flux over here. I didn't need that much. There's no reason for it, but sometimes I go a little bit overboard. I kind of enjoy placing. I don't know what it is. It's like you finally work so hard, to get to this step of getting your project pretty much where it needs to go. You know, there's so much forethought that goes into this, right? You know, you sketch it, or maybe you don't sketch it and you're just working with it. And then all of a sudden, you know, you're cutting things out and you're pre-soldering it and you're buffing this area and sanding this down and getting it ready for really the ultimate test, right? Is to just get all the components together. I don't know if I want to put another one there. I'm just going to kind of see how this turns out. I might have to move some petals around, add some petals in certain places. We'll kind of go with the flow. Now, at the bottom here, I had a whole different, see, this is why I'm not somebody who really sticks to a sketch. I don't really see things like that, you know, beforehand. I really just have to make stuff to really know where it's going to go. So I was going to put some silver detailing down here, but I just didn't like the way it looks, so I am going to do this instead, and I thought it looked much nicer. It kind of finished the entire piece off. So sometimes, you know, you don't really know where you're gonna go. Even my phone wanted me to shut up. It was like, no more space. I have to upload all my clips that I have on my phone right now. So when I do my YouTube videos, I try to edit as I go. So like it takes me about a couple of weeks to a month for me to gather enough like footage for a monthly studio vlog that's about an hour long. Now, I'm not sure, it might take me less. I haven't done one in a really long time. But I try to do a lot of the editing before, because otherwise it's a lot to edit at once. You wouldn't think so, but editing videos takes a long time. And I don't even use like Pro Cut. You know what? I used to know the name of it, but it's been such a long time that I'm like out of the loop. I just use my iMovie. It works just fine. But I have to go get my computer looked at. I have a Mac and I really like my Mac, but I need to bring it into the Mac store, and obviously with the pandemic, I haven't really been able to do that. So I have to get it looked at. I think it has a virus, which I've never gotten a virus on my Mac I think this is my third computer I've had from them. Generally I'm pretty happy with their computers. They're expensive, but I feel like, I don't know. I don't like their phones though. Isn't that weird? I like Androids. I feel like they're a little more intuitive, and I like the Google aspect. I probably should switch back to Microsoft, but I don't know. It's been a while. You know how it gets. It's like you're either like a Nikon person or you're a Canon person. You don't know why, you just are. I'm not super brand loyal though. All right, so I feel like there's more leaves on this side, but I feel like it's more naked on this side. I feel like there's missing one right here. Okay, let me just add a little flux to this bad boy. I think this should go on the outside and this one should go on the inside. The smaller one doesn't need as much. You know what? I don't think I added flux to these guys. It doesn't really need it. I'm just being excessive. Excessive force? No, excessive flux. Okay. That looks pretty darn good though, if I do say so myself. Oh, shite. All right. So I don't think I really cursed much in my old YouTube. I think I might have a few times, but I'm going to try not to do that because you get like demonetized, and that's kind of crazy. But it's been a lot of things have changed. Now I watch YouTube all the time, which is funny. It's not like I don't watch it. I watch tons of people. I love ASMR. I don't watch as many beauty YouTubers as I used to, because one, I don't really care, and two, the whole community changed, just became totally ugly. It's like, how could a community about being, you know, beauty and putting on makeup and all that stuff, it's not what it used to be when I first was watching, which is when people were really first making their careers and they didn't even know they were making a career on YouTube. But as everything, it evolves and it changes. Okay, so this is what we're looking at, guys. Really excited. I'm going to see, I might add another one here or here. So I might cut another one out. As you saw on my Instagram, I have this ring that I'm working on. This is for a custom order. She is actually local to me. So when I did this Pinterest show, I actually had the contact that I had to work through to get the spot. She actually lives a few towns over from me, and she commutes into the city. And I ended up obviously doing the event. It was a Women's Day event. And when it was done, she was like, I'd love to get my sister-in-law a gift. She loves like huge chunky rings. So we gave her a gift certificate to pick out her own ring. And then I went over their house. This is pre-pandemic. And they looked at all my stuff. And then we just, you know, settled on that we would do a custom order, and that she would want something turquoise from a piece that she had. But the turquoise was like not usable, and it just was a long story. So we decided to go with a new design. I gave her a few options. I gave her about 6 or 7 options, and she chose this design. I ended up upgrading her band to a bit thicker of a band than I normally would put. Not that I normally would put. I'm kind of going in this direction now with most of my designs. I want things to be able to be, to last, really. And I feel that this is such a nice, thick, heavy, appropriate, I'm sorry, I keep yawning. ring shank for this bezel. I mean, look at that. That's nice and thick. The bordering just gives it a lot. It's already on 18 gauge sterling silver sheet. There's a few spots that are pitted. I need to add a little bit more solder and a little more pressure so that these really make a full connection. I've rubber wheeled them with like a knife's edge, really like quite a bit, so I can see if there's any weak points. So I'm going to go back in, add a little bit of solder, and then I'll be able to finish off this ring. Oh, and by the way, this will be textured on the inside of this. It's not going to just be plain. So that's that. Also on my, I know I'm trying not to talk too much on Instagram or YouTube on one specific thing. So like I'll show a little bit there, but I feel like I'm going to go into more detail about what I'm doing on here. I'm building this custom citrine and 14 karat gold bezel ring. These are really, really pretty. And it'll have a faceted citrine. As you can see, the seat is already in there. I cut the seat in wax. And yeah, so I opened this up. I hand recycled this band as well. So I just got some turquoise in. I am doing two custom rings. It's going to be the cherry blossom turquoise rings that I did in my last Golden Hills collection. And I brought in a few different stones from two different vendors. So all of these are Golden Hills, and these are cut from somebody different than where I got my last batch of stones, but they're really, they're just so beautiful. I love like that robin's eggy blue. Now these are quite light, these three, which they're still really pretty. These are more of the colors that I kind of look for. Specifically this one is incredible. Let me see if it'll focus. Come on, there we go. I mean, look at the veining, and it actually comes up a little more of a lavender hue. This comes up really blue on my camera down here. So I'll show you the other batch of stones I got in. So the first set of stones I got in, I obviously made the collection with. Then I got another set in for this custom order, and then I bought another set because we can never have too many. Really pretty though. I mean, you can never have enough stones. I mean, I definitely have enough stones, but see, as you can tell, these get to be a bit lighter in color. These are a very pale, almost white turquoisey blue. Nice light robin's egg. These are much lighter than the other three over here. And this is the last one. And I'm going to show you the other batch of Golden Hills turquoise I got in from a different cutter. So here is the other lot of the Golden Hills turquoise. As you can see, they're all really vibrant. They all have really beautiful kind of a robin's egg blue toning. All the webbing is different from the next. So I'm really happy to add these to my collection. They're not the most rare turquoise, but they're also not the easiest to find. Not a ton of cutters have them. So if you see them, scoop them up. They're worth the extra couple of bucks. So I'm currently just working on these little petals for the kyanite cuff. I already have the necklace finished. And at this point, I'm just going to finish up this cuff, and then I'm also going to do a matching ring. I really just want to push past these three pieces because I feel like I've really been taking a long time to get these core pieces done from the collection. I'm going to do some other styles besides this, but for some reason, I think it's just because I had a lot of other open orders I had to fulfill. So this has taken me a little bit longer, but I'm just kind of freehand doing this just like I was before. I got a new tripod, so now I can make awesome videos and get nice and close for you guys. Sorry, it's very dark over here where I have my rolling mill. I have to put a light somewhere over here. I don't really have electrical that reaches here, so we'll have to figure it out. But one of my favorite things to do with the rolling mill is to roll out wire. It takes significantly less time than your average like sheet to roll out. And something I really like to do is I'm kind of limited with the rolling mill I have in the sense of I only have 3 slots
for half round wire. So I don't have good lighting over here, but I'm going to try to show you guys as best as I can. So I have 3 slots, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 slots for square wire. So what I do when I need a size that really isn't necessarily this is I use my square wire and I just put it on its side and I run it through my mill, and it kind of just compresses it, allowing the wire to get a bit thicker on width-wise, and then I can roll it out even longer lengthwise. It's hard to explain, but you can get very creative with stretching your wire the best you can. I just cut a piece of 18 gauge sheet out because I'm going to be making the ends, well, like the end caps for the cuff. So I just want to roll this out to be a little bit thinner because I don't need it to be 18 gauge. I think usually around 22, maybe even 24 to 26 is probably fine. This is at right now probably 20. Yeah, this is at 20. So I'm going to go to probably about 22 to 24, I would say. I like things on the thicker side anyways. But that's what's great about having a rolling mill, because you can then turn into pretty much any gauge you need. If you need something really thick, for instance, like I rolled out this really nice 14 gauge. I believe this is 14 gauge stock, and this is going to be for like a really nice meaty, like thick ring shank. So I'm just going to go over and anneal this and roll it a couple more times, and that should be good. When I'm doing a cuff end, there's a lot of different ways that you can do it. This is just the way that I like, and it's really more or less for the end result. To me, it looks good. I kind of do it a little bit differently each time, considering I make cuffs not very frequently. But I really like just kind of like an end cap. It's really smooth. It looks nice. I decided to do a voiceover because I felt the way I explained the next couple of clips becomes a little bit confusing. So there's different ways you can do the end caps. The way that I chose to do them today is just a simple like fold over method. So what I'm going to do now is I want to have at least 8 millimeters of that flat sheet hanging on both sides of the cuff, on the inside and the outside, so it kind of creates that smooth finished look. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure my wire to see how thick it is, because it has to also wrap around the cuff as well. So the first thing I want to do is measure out about 8 and probably 8.3 millimeters. I'm going to scribe that line right now onto the metal. And then from there, I'm going to add an extra like 2 to 3 millimeters, because you have to then wrap it over the cuff, and you want to obviously wrap it over to the other side. So you're creating an end cap. So then I put another 2 millimeters, and then I put another 8, because we want another 8 wrapping around the other side. I hope that makes sense. It definitely is a better explanation than the way I was trying to explain it when I filmed the video. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this. And then I'm just going to file it, so this way it's nice and even. I already filed this end. So this one, when I wrap it, it's going to look nice and finished. I'm just going to put this in my vise. I have a miter jig that you can use to flatten out the edges, but I don't really need it for precision. It's not a ring shank. It's more or less, I can eyeball this to make it look pretty straight. I'm not really too concerned about that. So now at this point, what I can do is I can take the now I could do a quick solder, like a little tack solder right there, just to kind of keep these in place, but I don't really think I'm going to need to. If I have to, I can, but I basically just want to solder on the first 8 millimeter line that's going to mark where. I just wanted to add too, you can actually fold it over and just solder it all at once. I've done both ways, but it's really just a preference thing. Where this will stay, then I can fold the rest over and solder the other half together and sandwich it really nicely. So I personally really like sticky wax, just to have some positioning when I'm trying to see where I want to be soldering something. There's a few things I don't like about sticky wax. Like, for instance, I'll use this for photos because this is what I have, but you're better off with clay because this really does stick, and you do have to do a little bit of cleanup with it. But, for instance, I want to start seeing where exactly I want to solder this cuff. And this is going to allow me to place the cuff where I want it to be kind of position it, see where it is, and then I can make some markings. So this way I know where I need to line up the cuff when I turn it around. So it's just one of those small things that you can do for yourself just to kind of help yourself out and also get an idea. It's kind of nice. You could see what the finished cuff would look like as opposed to just kind of laying it on top. It's nice to really get a visual of where everything would be and how it would look. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of cut off any excess because I want to be able to make some lines where this is. I pressed down on the cuff part so I can get it to be as if it was soldered. So really nice and close. I also already have some markings of where I want this to be lining up with over here. And I always try to kind of look at every angle, obviously, and then I can start making some line markations because this is not a perfect circle. What might look straight from this angle will be completely different from the front angle. So it's really nice to take the sticky wax and allow yourself to really visualize just what you're going to get out of the final product. Don't mind my crazy looking hair right now, but I got some washi tape in, and I don't know if you guys ever have heard of washi tape, but a lot of people use it for like scrapbooking or organizing their agendas. There's a bunch of different craft projects you can use it for, but one of the main reasons I love to use it is for wrapping up my packages. Sorry, I'm still getting used to where I have to look in for the lens for this camera. So for wrapping any kind of jewelry, what I would normally do is, let's say I'm gonna send out these earrings. I'd wrap them up. I would do this obviously on my desk instead of in the middle of the air. Maybe I'll just reposition the camera. That's what I'll do. I don't mind this because I kind of haphazardly wrap this up just to kind of show you an example. But what I do is I take my washi tape. This one is the one that I have right now in stock. And then I got a bunch more. You can obviously see right here. And I'll show you the patterns in a minute. And I just like pop a piece of tape right there. And then I just bring it all the way around. I was just actually finishing off originally the package so it wouldn't come undone with this tissue. I used to just have like Scotch tape, but I thought this looked so cute with the different patterns. And then this particular one I got on Amazon came with all of these different patterns, which my packaging is mostly black and white anyways, so I figured these would be really, really cute. Maybe as I progress with themed collections I can get different colors, but for right now I just really want to stick to using colors that really already make sense with my packaging. So I thought these were so cute, and I love switching up things in my packaging, especially for people that buy over and over from me. It's just one little thing they can look forward to changing or just kind of evolving, you know, throughout time. And then these also came in there, which is like more music and film. So just super cute. You can use it for so many different things. This is just what I use them for. And this is not actually just tissue paper. This is anti-tarnish paper. That's why I use it. I wouldn't have picked white necessarily for tissue paper, but again, it serves a purpose that when it's really, really humid, that it won't allow the jewelry to tarnish when it's being shipped. All right, so we're gonna do a little Rio Grande haul. It's not gonna be something super exciting because it's mostly just metal. So I get these for the fire opal necklaces that I do. Nothing really fancy, just had to restock on that. Then I just got some 18 gauge sterling silver sheet. I do roll my own sheet, but I also like using sheet like here's, I have another one over here. I like to keep it on stock for certain projects. Just depends on what it is that I'm making. I just got an ounce of 24 gauge sterling silver wire. I'm going to be using this for my Kyanite collection to wire wrap some pieces. And then, what else do we got in here? I just got some 16 gauge wire. I needed just this particular gauge for some of the projects I'm working on. Plus, it's something I always stock, and I was running pretty low. Then I got a ton of casting green. This is 4 ounces worth, I believe. Yeah, this is 4 ounces worth. So this way I can mix with my recycled scrap. I always mix it with new, this is recycled still, but you want to make sure that you mix it with brand new metal that's not dirty. Then we got just some solder, nothing really fun there. And then we have some 14 karat gold casting green. I got 2 pennyweights worth. And the last one I got was this, which is some 18 karat gold casting green. This is just 1 pennyweight's worth for 2 projects that I'm working on. It's just a bit more yellow than the 14.
Guys, all right. So Joe decided to order HelloFresh, and I always wanted to try one of these services, but I really don't have an issue with making my own food in the sense of I'm pretty good with finding recipes, altering them if they're not 100% great, to try to like salvage a meal if it isn't something that I thought it was going to be, just because I do cook often in so many different kind of cuisines. But I do like the idea of this because you want to use the food, obviously, before it goes bad, and it kind of forces you to cook a little bit more. We cook often to begin with. I mean, during quarantine, we cooked up a storm. But now that things are opening, we're starting to go out more. And I don't know, I also don't really want to do that. Something I liked about quarantine was that we really did use what we had, cooked a lot, and I was making like crazy like hummus from broccoli stalks. Like I was really trying to push the envelope with using as much as I could. So for HelloFresh, I think he chose like their top picks because I didn't pick this stuff. Yeah, I think it's like their Hall of Famers, like stuff that's like very popular. So tonight I am making the firecracker meatballs. And I have to say, this stuff smells really, really good. I have about 3 minutes left in the oven with the meatballs and the carrots. And basically, if you've never seen what the recipe cards look like, I'm actually gonna turn this around. The recipe cards look like this. So it tells you what you're gonna need, all the ingredients, which they provide for you. Like for instance, like the Korean chili flakes are in its own little separate packet. So is the sour cream, and it's all pre-portioned out, which is pretty cool. I really like that. And then it tells you in order of how to make whatever you're gonna be making. What I thought was pretty neat is that I normally would cook my rice first, right? But the way that they lay this out is it's timed perfectly. So everything really was kind of done in the order it said it was going to be. That's something I really liked and didn't expect. I kind of was like, oh, maybe this isn't gonna be exactly how I wanted it to be, but this is what it looks like. It tells you the amount of calories and things like that. But I honestly, overall, I really, really like this. I'm excited to try some of the other recipes. This one came with creamy Parmesan chicken spaghetti. Personally, I would like to try ones that aren't like super loaded with too much fat. Not that I'm like extremely concerned, but for instance, I don't normally cook like barbecue pork burgers. That to me is like something I would do once in a while. You know, like I'll maybe have a pork butt, I'll like slow roast it, I'll make like sliders, but that's not something that I really want to eat on like a weekly basis, but fun to put in the rotation. There's creamy Parmesan chicken spaghetti. I love the way that they honestly lay them out. I think it's super cool. And then the last one is a lemon chive chicken. So yeah, when you're a new customer, these are really inexpensive to try out because they give you like 40% off of it. I don't mind doing a weekly service as long as I think I'm gonna use it. I might do a separate review on Misfit Markets, Butcher Box, and then like services like HelloFresh because I've tried the other two throughout the entire pandemic. So let me know if you'd be interested in that, and I would be happy to share my information. But I'll show you guys what the meal looks like once it's all prepped and done, and yeah. I wanted to show you what it looks like. This is the sauce that goes on top of it. It's like a sriracha mayo soy sauce combination and sour cream. Then there's white rice. This was a little bit dry for the time that they told me to make it. I followed the directions, and you know, I could have made rice on my own, but I like the portion. Could have used a little bit more. Then we have the carrots over here, and then we have the meatballs over here. So those are the meatballs. Everything looks really good. Everything smells really good. And then I have a little scallion that they gave me to cut up to garnish it, and some sesame seeds that I had left over from the rice, because they did like a toasted sesame rice kind of ordeal. But overall, obviously the pictures look much more together. Hold on. So we have, this is our picture, and I'll do a final photo of mine. A little sad. I lost a lot of footage on my phone when I recorded some of these clips because my phone screen completely stopped working. I might be able to extract them still though from my cord because my phone still will charge at least. So this is the cuff that I was working on. I just pre-polished this, and then I also pre-polished this ring. I'm just going to be texturizing, polishing, and then setting the pieces. I also have these two, which I was showing earlier, which are cherry blossom rings. They have some nice 18 karat gold detailing at the bottom of the stone. Now, because the stone was a bit longer, I had to solder the cherry blossom a bit further down. Otherwise, this would have been like way too long. So I kind of figured I wanted it to be in the middle rather than all the way up here. It just didn't look right. So I just made that adjustment for that particular stone. All right, then I have this chariorite ring that I'm working on, and nice thick 17 gauge band. I just have to do the inner workings just to kind of file and smooth the inside ring shank out. This is a really small ring. It's a 4.5. I think it fits my pinky. That's about it. Now, as you can see right here, I don't get too fancy, but when I want to put a little ledge, sometimes I just pop a jump ring in for the rounds because it makes like the perfect little ledge, and I don't have to really fuss much with making a step bezel. So that's a little tip. And then with this Kyanite collection, I'm also going to do these really nice raw kyanites with some sterling silver roped wire that I just hand twisted. So these will also be in the collection. These will be these will be inexpensive comparative to some of the other pieces that I have. Okay. So this is why I absolutely love this Jett Basic. Well, it's so zoomed in. It is a fantastic tool. Now, obviously, I could set this in a variety of ways, which I used to do, but this gives it so much support, and I'm able to set the stone without compromising any component, squeezing something too much, and it gives it enough proper support on the bottom end, and it's just my favorite that I incorporated recently into my tool repertoire. And it's great because you can reuse it over and over again, so I just pop it in there. Just gonna close it up just a tiny bit, not much. And then I'm gonna be able to put my stone in and start setting it. So I just really, really like this. If you haven't tried it, it took me years. I gotta zoom out, this is ridiculous. This took me years to buy, and I don't know why. It's not expensive, it's 28 bucks. And look at how much I have. I've had this for months now, and I've been using pretty much the same, one over and over again. I have a little bit more in this Tupperware right here. This is it dried, so I put hot water on top, and then I just kind of peel off how much I need. For that piece, I only needed that much. I'm going to be setting a couple rings with this. I'll have to put this again in hot water, and I just use one of those like tea warmer things that just boil the water for you, and then I just sculpt it to what I need, and you can set your little heart out. Honestly, really, really worth the investment. It's such a cheap investment for such a great tool. You can make tools out of it. You can make handles for burrs if you want to make your own like stamps. I mean, you could do endless amounts of stuff with it. So just wanted to throw that out there for anybody that might be interested. So I oxidized all of the pieces. As you can see that they're really dark now. I'm going to brush just the pendant part, and then the cuff area is going to be high shined. I will show that in another video when I am closer to the release of this collection. As you can see, there's the ring. Guys, so I actually had filmed this before, but I felt like my top I was falling out of, so I kind of had to refilm it, unfortunately. But I did get a haul in from Rio Grande, and the reason I got most of this stuff is because I'm creating a bolo tie for Joe's dad's 60th birthday, and I've never made a bolo, and I didn't have any braided leather, and I was gonna order it from Etsy, but I didn't really have the time to wait for the shipping, so I ordered it from Rio instead, because as we know, Rio has incredibly fast dispatching times, and I wanted to buy a few things so I could make the bolo. So this is basically mostly for the bolo. I got some 14 gauge wire. I mean, this is whatever it is. I also have never bought stainless steel binding wire. I think I got it in 26 gauge or 28 gauge. I don't remember which one. But this really assists you when you want to kind of tie up everything and get some tension for soldering. Also, it's good for just about any soldering projects that you want to do to hold pieces in place. And I don't know, I've never actually used binding wire. I think I used this when I used to do classes, like, I don't know how many years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago. It's been a while. So I am planning on making my own bolo end caps, but because I kind of have a little bit of a time crunch and I'm not going to be able to, I didn't want to, okay, let me rephrase that. I didn't want to run into an issue where the end caps didn't come out the way I wanted them to, and that was what would make me not be able to finish the piece. So I bought pre-made end caps just in case I run into a problem or I run into a timing issue. They're really nice. They're exactly probably what I would, similar to what I would make anyways. They're relatively thin. I think they're made out of 28 gauge material, which I think is what they tell you to use anyways. I'm sure you could do 26 gauge if you want. I'll put all of the item numbers of the stuff that I got linked below. So if you're interested in anything, I mean, these are boring. I just got some 2mm jump rings. I love this size for my Rolo chain. And then I like this size lobster clasp. It's a 7.8mm. Really nice and tiny, but perfect for the necklaces that I make over and over and over again. Now, these did come in plastic, but again, I took them out of the plastic because I had opened this box already. So this one is the 4mm braided leather in black, really nice quality. And this one is the 5mm braided leather in black. The reason that I bought two, sorry, I don't know where to look sometimes with this camera. The reason I bought two sizes was because I've never made a bolo and I didn't know what would be the most appropriate size for the size pendant that I'm making. So I figured I'll buy both because I know I'm going to use these. And honestly, I love this leather. I definitely plan on using these to hold pendants or give people options for different, necklace cords. Again, these are really nice and thick. I'm really all about I'm just recently, I feel like I'm really interested in not chunky jewelry, but like really substantial things. I want stuff to hold up, and I really think that these both will be nice and do the job for what I'm looking for. I will put the item numbers below. A lot of Etsy sellers do sell these braided leathers, but again, I needed them to come in quick. So the last thing I bought is a proper necklace gift box. I didn't want to have to squish the bolo that I'm making for his father into a small box that I have. I really wanted it to be something that I could give him that he could keep it in and store it in forever. And I wanted a more classic, traditional kind of jewelry box. So I ended up purchasing this black leather one. Hold on, I'm just taking it out of the... I think it's really classy, and I also think it serves the purpose exactly for what I need it for. The only thing I don't love is the gold trim. I don't like gold. I think it looks a little tacky. I think if this was just plain black, it would be the perfect box. And if you got this like hot foil stamped with your logo, I think it would look just gnarly. So it has a snap closure detail. You open it up, and when you open it, you have a really nice black velvet lined box with two like little tabs so you can put the necklace so it is nicely presented and stays in place. You have some really nice white satin sleeves. So I think just overall this is the perfect kind of box to really elevate the piece, and I'm just gonna throw a nice bow over it and give it to him just like that. I might even wrap it. I'm not really sure. We'll see. But this is exactly what I wanted. And for $8 and change, I think it's a perfect price point. It's not super expensive, but then again, it's I think pretty affordable for what you're getting. So that's my little Rio Grande haul. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm sorry I had to refilm it. Not that you guys really could tell, but yeah, so that's that. And I think I'm gonna wrap up this vlog. It's getting kind of long at this point, and I'll probably put the bolo in the next vlog just because I feel like I said, this one's just getting kind of long, and then we can kind of move on and so on and so forth. So thank you for sticking around for this studio vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you have any questions, comments, hit the like button below if you enjoyed this vlog, and please subscribe. Yeah, I'll see you soon.